What's up, Peeps? Welcome back to the unofficial, untitled podcast episode from the Jump Rope community. I am your host, L.R.Player. Special guest tonight. This is my brother. This is my brother from the West Coast, fellow rush athlete, mate. But before that, he also helped me with the movement with the legacy game. If you could view that on Instagram, hashtag legacy game. I had a chance to meet this brother in person in New York. We definitely rocked that. So without further ado, this is my brother. Introduce yourself, brother.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Alvin. Go by AlvinX Jumps. I'm on IG. Glad to be here. What's up, Larry?
What's good, brother, man? Shit, finally had a chance to meet you in New York, man. We totally did it big there.
Yep, yep. That was a lot of
Yeah, so
fun,
how you
man.
feeling
That
right
was
now,
that was
brother?
feeling good, man. Feeling uh, it's a little cold, but that's San Diego cold. I know in other places, especially on the East Coast or more out east, it's a lot cooler. you know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but I mean, it
man.
feel, I'm a sweater guy, so I'm glad I can like put some on now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely got to rock the hoodie, man. So
Yeah.
the origin story, Alvin, man. What got you into jump roping?
So I mean, I've been jump roping for like just kind of casually. Um, so I actually been training in martial arts for like 7 years, and back in 2000, what was it, 2018, we had the weight cap. It's the Eskrima World Championship, and usually it's held in the Philippines, and uh, in 2018 it was held in Maui. So, um, you know, my instructors were like encouraging me to go over there and represent for San Diego. So, without a question, so I had to train, um, and a lot of it we do a lot of sparring and such. So with that, I had to boost up my cardio, get light on my feet, and so I got with a trainer, and he had me doing a lot of jump roping first off, and foremost, just so I can be really light on my toes, being able to move and stuff. Forward to the pandemic, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of us kind of have the same story. It's like didn't have a gym. Gyms were closed. Um, we're sitting at home, food's piling up, it's not going away, weight's coming on. So I was like, I need to do something about this, and figured, okay, jump roping is pretty easy. It's affordable. I can take it wherever I want. So ended up getting one of those. My cousin was the one that actually showed me um, Rush Athletics. He showed me Rush's YouTube video, and he's like, "You got to get this." And at the time, they didn't have any. He didn't have any more of the money ropes, so I started with the Icon rope, and then started watching the tutorials and such, and just went on from there, man. I just loved it. I wanted to go farther with it. There was tricks. I was like, you know, that looks pretty hard, but Rush broke it down pretty simple enough to where I can break it down and do it. And yeah, now we're here. So
Yeah, our story is like pretty similar all the way up to like the pandemic and gym shutting down, and even to the part where like when you go to the website there was no money rope available. So for me, I picked up the legacy rope, and like people used to tell me like I was playing the video game on superstar mode because the money rope was like easy mode. So
yeah,
yeah, man. So basically, you was kind of been skipping probably like close to 3 years, around about the same time when I started.
yeah.
So, what other form of fitness that you do besides jumping rope?
Well, as I mentioned, martial arts has been my thing for many years. So I use that as a way of fitness. You know, Definitely a lot of footwork is in Filipino martial arts, you know. So you know, it's a lot. It's kind of like the same, you know what I mean? It's just there's a lot of combos, a lot of striking, and sometimes a lot of that striking and footwork, you know, requires some cardio. So, um, you know, even during the pandemic, my instructor would do Zoom classes to keep us, you know, keep us training, keeping us going, you know, keeping all the students active. So, been doing a lot of that. I did some weights here and there, um, but I mean, and also boxing. Boxing is something I've done. Nothing like I've been like, you know, not like actual fighting, but just you know, learning the movements. Um, you know, hitting the bags and all that, and um, I mean, they all kind of go hand in hand with jump rope. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of need the jump rope to help you, you know, get you warmed up, get the feet going, you know, the body mechanics in the right order. So I kind of stayed within that line as far as my fitness goes. And it's, you know, I feel like I'm so I don't think I would be where I am if it wasn't for jump rope. Like I've taken fitness so serious ever since I started, and it's kind of like okay, I need to get out there. Like you know, if you can put in about 20 minutes or so, even 5 minutes, just to get out there and just kind of like, you know, polish the tools real quick, right?
Yep. So for anybody that didn't or haven't checked out your profile, like you do more than jump rope, you do drumming, and then you say you do martial arts. So correct me if I'm wrong. It's called the Sigma sticks. Like if anybody know Nightwing from comic books, he used the Sigma sticks. So basically, you
Mm-hmm.
always got some sticks in your hands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, like usually, like people like know them as a screamer, or like the sticks are called rattan. Um, in other regions in the Philippines, like they call it arnis. That's kind of a popular term. Here in the West, it was coined as Cali. So different terminologies, but it's all Filipino martial arts at the end of the day. Um, so
So
and
basically, I just
yeah.
butchered the name of the sticks.
Oh no, you good, man. You good. You know what I mean? But
So can
I'm
can
here to
you
teach,
explain
man.
yeah, can you explain compare how the martial arts the drumming and jump rope how it got some kind of ties together, like what is the main bond between like those three that you do? um yeah.
Yeah. So like with the screamer, there's a lot of movements that remind me of the rope. You know, um, like even like for example, side swings. You know, there's like when you go over one side and then you have to open, right? Because everything in jump rope is like if you close, you got to find a way to open. You know, on the other side, close, open, right? You can close, open, and to jump over it. You know, things like that. That's the same thing with the screamer. They call it like sinawali. So it's like you're training your hands to do these kind of things, and so when you cross, if you strike and you cross this way, you got to open up because if you're here, that's 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 a you know that's getting tied up and that'll get you messed up. But if you're able to get out, you're open. So um, so there's a lot of coordination up top that needs to happen, right? At the same time, you gotta learn. You got footwork. You gotta learn how to move. Um, in a screamo, we do a lot of like movements. We try to strike and move at the same time. You know, it's a form of being um, defensive and offensive. You know, so jump rope as well. It's like yeah, you can be stable in one spot, but you know, you can also move. You can move. You know, lateral. You can move up and down. You know, we've seen it through like the Mayweather videos, through Rush Athletics videos, and then even everybody in the community. Footwork is has is like a staple of jump roping. So, you know, I always see that as a way where they tie in, and I can use both styles. I can use jump roping and the screama, and kind of show an expression of it, and how they can compare and work together.
And even with your drumming, because you got to have some kind of a coordination when you using the sticks with your hands, and then you got the pedal on your feet. So that's also tied in with coordination and footwork. And so, how long you been
Absolutely.
drumming?
I've been drumming for about man, sure, I want to say like maybe like 15, 20 years. I mean,
Oh
it's funny
wow,
because like, I mean, I started as a I started playing piano. I was actually a keyboardist in a punk band, and sometimes like that's kind of weird. Like you're used to just kind of like distorted guitars, bass and drums, but the band I was with, we tried to incorporate keyboards. I'm as you can see my Tupac hoodie right
yeah,
here. I'm
correct.
I'm heavily influenced in the hip hop, and and that was like my role, was just trying to incorporate some of that hip hop into punk rock, and you've seen it progress too, even in music nowadays. You saw how Linkin Park did that, you know, and even now it's just like music is intertwining different styles, you know. So, but yeah, then I started drumming because I like the fact that you can like it's it's free flowing at the same time. You're like the backbone, trying to hold, keep the band together, keeping a steady beat. You know, maybe that helps me with my jump roping too, because it's like you got to be able to keep this steady tempo. You know, there's got to be. I mean, it's like you have a metronome in your head, and you're controlling it, right? Um, so I think that's where all the similarities fit right there. You know what I mean?
Okay, so fast forward into our skipping journey, because you a part of this too. So a lot of people always kind of say that I personally started the legacy game, but I'm too humble to like take full credit of that. You personally was involved with that. Medley, Renee, Lang
Yeah,
over there in London, a couple of more people, man. And
yeah.
what was so great about the legacy game movement that it wasn't something that we started to like for it to be popular, but I swear, like in between like a week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, it just spread it crazy around the world, just super crazy, like to the point where like I don't think people realize that it came from us, but we see
Mhm.
it out there, man. How did that like make you feel when you just seeing that type of movement getting spread like that?
Oh man, like I mean, it was such a cool thing. It was very humbling at the same time, and even the fact like with you and Med and Renee, and like we just kind of like kept it together, right? I mean, um, we were like tagging each other, we were throwing out the hashtags, you know what I mean? We were encouraging people to join the legacy gang, and it was real simple, man. You just had to do something with the legacy rope. You know what I mean? And I mean, it just kind of it's a product of this community itself, right? It's like a product of like what what Rushy did with the money rope, and getting this community going. It's like we kind of followed the same formula. You know what I mean? And it's real cool because I feel like we just wanted to learn from each other, and it was a pretty cool movement. I feel, and it's still going. I feel,
It,
you know.
yeah, yeah, it's still going. I know I have slacked off using the legacy a lot because I'm all over the place. Um, so let's fast forward, man. Finally got to meet each other in New York.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was literally like the shortest, longest 2 day weekend like ever.
Yeah.
Explain that field, man. The meet up in New York, meeting Rushy and
Um,
meeting the crew. Explain all that.
yeah, like I mean, it's such a trip, right? Because it's like, I mean, like IG, right? Like we're seeing our pictures or our videos, we're talking to each other, and it's kind of like as if like okay, like yeah, like kind of like TV in a way, right? like these are the what I'm interested in watching the jump rope videos and watching your guys' videos and to finally meet everybody in person was like such a trip. It was like I'm not gonna lie, it felt like it's like starstruck, I guess, especially like when meeting Rushy for the first time. I mean, we've talked on the phone and whatnot, but then to actually like, shake hands, give a hug, and it was you get that quick starstruck, but at the same time, it was so easy. Like we've been hanging out for years, and we just getting reunited. That's what it felt like to me, and that meetup was just man, it was something special, and it's like you wish that like everybody could be a part of it because um, it this is this is just the U.S. This is just in New York City. You know that this community is just like worldwide. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. For me, that's what I wish is just one day to be able to not only you know here in the U.S. but take it to the next level. Go to other countries and meet everybody that I have become friends with.
Yeah, man. Same feeling here, man. Man, like starstruck, like had goosebumps and stuff. But we got the dab in, we got the hug in, and then it's like we chatting and talking like what I'm saying. We've been homies forever. Um,
Yeah,
I was literally burnt out from the meetup, man. Like I don't know why I couldn't stop skipping. I was literally burnt out from the meetup. Seeing
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
from New York. Being up
Yeah,
there at the
man.
Hudson Edge
Yeah, yeah.
on the 100th floor.
Yeah,
So
yeah. How are you?
what's the next? Huh?
I was gonna say, like, were you good with the heights? Was that okay with
N-
you? That was pretty high, wasn't it?
Mm-mm. No, not
Especially
one
that
bit. Not
that glass, that window platform on the bottom. You could just see the streets of New York right under your feet. It was just like it's unreal to stand over there.
I was no good with that. I was like itching to the edge and trying to like peek over and man, like I was losing my stomach every time I did that, man. I was no good with that at all.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
So
man,
what's
that was good times.
what so
Yeah.
what's next for Alvin X?
Um, like I just want to keep on doing this to influence people, Um, I'm not scared to share my age, like I'm 42, I'm gonna be turning 43 next month. Um, but I don't feel like that, you know what I mean? I kind of feel like yeah, okay, my knees might hurt a little bit in the morning, but at the same time it's like, you know what I mean? Like I'm mobile enough to do this right now, and
So all
like
right, let's
I
let's get to the age part because that's something we can relate
yeah,
on. Like, do
yeah.
you ever like do anybody ever like cuss you out because they don't believe you the age that you are? Because I get that all the time.
Yeah, yeah, it's surprising that I'm still, yeah, at times I still get carded, you know. So I'm like, I mean, it's cool, man. I'm like, oh, you want to card me? Oh, great, cool, I mean, before it was just like, oh man, he's gonna card me, like I look too young, and now it's just kind of like, oh man, I'm still glad I'm still like, got that pure look. So, you know what I mean?
Oh man. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't get carded, but I still get cussed out a lot. Like, oh, there's no way you 40 years old and moving like that and moving better than 20 years old. And I don't know what to tell y'all, man. Just I've been athletic all my life and still a little athletic still and
Hmm.
so
Yeah, man. I
that's
mean,
correct.
that's. I'll always say, keep going till the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? And
But
that's kind of where I'm at.
at the same time, like there's a lot of us in the community um at that age 37, 38, 39, 40,
Hmm.
um still active, still moving around, and that is like I don't know if you noticed, but that is becoming a trend because I don't think people feel bad about their age and like being able to show their age and move the way they move. So that is credit for us being expo for people still trying to be fit or want to stay fit at 40 because I don't know why people think like when they turn 30 or something like they just instantly hit a decline, but that's when like
Yeah,
you kind of hit the incline right there.
yeah,
So
man.
major
I
props
mean,
for us being 40 and still moving, man.
I mean, maybe that's kind of why it's like we're in this position where we're a product of it. You know what I mean? We jump rope. We're still active. We can move. We're still light on our feet. You know, go buy a jump rope. You know what I mean? Go see what it's like. I mean, like look at our videos. Look what everybody else our age is doing right now. It's like we're not too old to be doing this. And so even on my personal Instagram, a lot of my you know close friends and people I went to high school with and stuff like that. It's kind of like why I promote even more heavy on my personal page because it's like, dude, like if here's a link. You know what I mean? Go check this rope out. Try it. You know, if you need tips, I know people. You can hit me up as well. So
Oh, speaking of, since you've been going to the Mayweather gym out there, freshly open out there in your area, I'm jealous of that. Have you been offered to teach there? Any moves? Anybody just come up with you for any advice or anything out there?
not yet, but I'm working on it. I mean, people have seen my videos or I've been in the gym. Um, it's definitely a smaller location. I've been to I've taken boxing classes at other boxing gyms where they're so big, and then like warm ups is like we'll start jump roping for like 5 minutes or so. This one's kind of a little different where it's just more of like you know stations where you're at one heavy bag, someone's on another heavy bag, and then there's some um, like you can be doing fitness in another station or you're on the treadmill, which I think I told you, I was like, man, I'm on a treadmill, can't believe it, right?
Yeah,
But I do it for class. It's part of the cardio. So I'm hitting the bag, so that's all right. But I'm definitely working on it. And I think it's kind of cool to even during the grand opening. Like they asked me to have a booth for Rush Athletics, and I was able to share the story, right, of when Floyd Mayweather used the money rope, and then even Rushy sent me a picture of Mayweather like having the rope around his neck. So I thought that
right.
was kind of a cool aspect or a cool thing to share with people. You know, so yeah, hopefully
All right,
they'll be hitting me up about that.
all right. So some rapid fire questions. Oh, well, okay. Before the
Yeah,
rapid fire question, what
yeah.
was the hardest move, the hardest skill to unlock for you?
Um, to be honest, I mean, I think like mic releases have been well. No, no, I'll take that back. I'll take that back. I mean, the hardest move for me to like actually like get going was like the Mayweather uh double under crossovers. That was always like an Achilles heel of mine for a bit because um yeah, I don't know, maybe I didn't drill it too much and but I watched a lot of videos, and even I did one-on-one sessions with Rushy, and he was really, he was critiquing me on ways to get that to work out, and it's finally flowing now, and I'm able to kind of throw it in the combos here and there. Um, and definitely, I think that's the one thing is this jump rope journey doesn't stop. Like I mentioned, make releases and all that, like which is something I've never thought I'd be doing, to be honest with you.
Excuse me.
But
Yep.
I, you know, shout out to Tan and Ernesto because like I linked up with them when Ernesto came from Peru, and yeah, and then we met up with Tan over there in LA, and they were doing it, and I was like, they're like, you got to beat a rope. I'm like, nah. It's like we're gonna teach you how to do a release. So you know, you do it, and then you're like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Same
time to
here.
take
The
on it.
double on the crossover. That was the nemesis
Yeah.
for me. But what was crazy was, I unlocked the switch cross double under
Mhm.
before I officially locked the Mayweather crossover, which that's kind of like working backwards. And
Yeah.
with the Mick release, it took a lot of brain power and like a mind rope connection for me to get the Mick release down. And I'm still not really good at it. I mean, I know y'all see me do some crazy things, but I'm still not
I
really
mean,
fluid with it. Um,
you
let's go.
you
Let's
got it,
get into
man. I
some
mean,
rap.
I seen it.
Man, that's just like some one and done and some flukes sometimes, man.
uh,
Let's get into some rapid fire questions. So, as far as like, um, so you well known with like dropping it low and do lunges and squats. So, which one for you, squats or lunge jumps?
it's gotta be squats. It's gotta be squats, just because it. Mike Tyson is one of my favorite boxers, and I've watched numerous videos of him doing. I mean, they kind of coined it as Tyson squats. So, um, I gotta go with the squats.
All right. Ooh, let's see. Let's see. Should have been well prepared for this.
Yeah.
What is your favorite signature go to move?
Um, I want to say southpaws. I think southpaws are such a good transition move. So I always find myself doing those. I mean, if you watch my videos, I do a lot of 360s. You're 360 king yourself. You know what I mean? I love 360s because I love the way how, uh, how you set it up. And it's kind of like if you know where your feet need to go for a 360, you can throw in a 360. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's the one key. If I can give it to anybody that is struggling with 360s, learn the footwork of it. And then if you can land your feet in that position, you're gonna have to turn, and that'll you'll start throwing in those 360s.
and it do be the smallest details that make the biggest difference. Just like you said, as far as like setting your feet to ready to turn, because everything else is almost automatically, but just the small thing of just setting your feet and getting ready for the turn, because everything else happens so quick that people don't
Yeah,
notice like the feet part.
I mean,
What
I
is
guess
the
like I
next
can even
thing?
like
Okay.
um oh no, I was gonna say like like how going back to like how I can tie jump roping in martial arts. In martial arts, if you get because the thing is what with 360s, what sets that up is that if your front foot happens to overlap your back foot, you know what I mean? Because then you're in a position to turn. That's the same thing in martial arts. If like when people do like a spinning back fist or a spinning strike, that's the setup right there because you get tied up, you know, when your feet are in that position. So the best way to get out of that, or one of the good best ways, easy ways to get out of it, it's a kind of like a oh snap kind of move is to turn. So that's kind of like how I can, put those two and two together.
Okay. What's the next unlock for AlvinX as far as jump rope wise?
Ooh. You know, there's just so many. There's really so many. I haven't been able to do a TJ. I can't even say like I tried. You know what I mean? but I see it all the time. You know, I'm gonna start working on my airtime even more with that. I seen you doing the raps, and like I said, that's what makes this community great. It's like I watch people do the videos, and you know, I want to do that. You know what I mean? It's influential for me now that I see people doing raps. I wanna kind of try that out and see if I can incorporate that into my style.
Yeah, I be doing the same thing, man. I see people do things and like I move things out the way in my living room just to have like some space and just like try different things without jumping, and then like I go outside with it. So that's like one of the main reasons how I unlock stuff so quickly. Um,
Right.
you can call it shadow skipping or whatever, but I just like be here building muscle memory, and then I just literally just go outside and it just come together real quick.
That's
So
pretty
before
good
we
that you
end it,
said that, right?
go ahead.
I was gonna say that's pretty that you said that, right? Because it needs to like muscle memory. It needs to feel like it's second nature, and so like the only way the best way to do it is definitely like working out your positions and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
So before we end it out, you got anything, any tips, any positive inspiration for the community?
Um, I mean, I guess I if you're into this, like, and it's a bug, right? So keep going. I mean, you might get stuck. I see people that like, you know, they're working so hard to unlock a move, and that's totally fine. You know what I mean? You just got to keep going at it. Um, and the community's here. We're here to help out. I've texted you or messaged you numerous times about the even today, right? You tagged me when you're doing your switch crosses, and it's like what's cool is like
Oh,
watching your videos. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
I there's a timing on that I noticed that I don't do, you know, and so that taught me a lot just through that. And so, um, you know, at any, I mean, if people are available, I feel like this whole community is an open book, and we're here to help. So, um, yeah, man, just keep on going. This is you're in this community, which is positivity. It's a lot of fun, and you make some really good friends all around the world.
All right, people. You heard it from the man himself. You in this jump rope community. You in this community. You're gonna be friends. You're gonna have family. You're gonna have unlimited support, and and that's what we do, and that's what we're here for. So this is the kid L.R.Player, and my co-host. Present yourself again.
Alvin, aka AlvinX, jumps. Let's
Yes,
go.
sir, fellow Rush athlete. And this has been another episode, and we're gonna check you later. Peace.
All right, y'all.